to a different story. Then we have the bar mitzvah at the age of 13. You have wedding, you have funeral. But there is another Israeli ritual which is kept secret, which I would like to share with those who are not familiar with it. And this is called the blanket, smicha. And this ritual is a religious ritual which is embedding in the Israeli youngster the feeling of teamwork, and it goes like this. The young Israeli at the age of 18 is drafted to the army, and he goes to a boot camp, and then comes the first weekend. At the first weekend, everybody wants to go home, dying to go home to meet with the family. And at 5 o'clock in the morning, they clean the tent. And then the sergeant is coming and say, there is a piece of dirt here. You see this piece of dirt? Everybody stay here on the weekend, nobody goes home. And then there is one guy who will raise his hand and say, this is not fair because he put the dirt, why all of us have to suffer? Then what will happen? All of them will stay, and at the evening, while everybody is sleeping, 25 young, developed, strong, 18 years old Israelis will come with a blanket. They will wrap, not the guy who put the dirt, but the finger pointer. They will wrap him in a blanket and will hit him very well indeed. And this is how we teach teamwork in this country. After this ritual, you don't have to put plaques of teamwork. So the society, the fact that the society is very compact and develop this feeling of mutual responsibility, later on is being manifested in the high-tech industry. And I can go on and on and on. The Israelis who are sitting, who are the majority, know that I paint the whole thing in a little bit more nicer colors than usual, but I really have to say it. You know, I'm traveling all over the world, and the kind of spirit that we have in this country, you really don't see. I will just give you another anecdote. My time is running, but before I end, I want to tell you another anecdote. Once a year, I'm doing something wonderful, which is called Unconference in Greece with the people of WPP, which is the largest, or one of the largest advertising companies in the world. What is Unconference? Unconference is a format which was suggested by Tim O'Reilly, who is advocating open source in software, etc. And he came to the conclusion that while conferences are very good, the program committee can think only on so much subjects. So in Unconference, you give the timetable of the conference, you know, rooms and hours, but the pigeonholes, every square is empty. And anybody who wants to go and talk about something, get a square and write what he wants to talk about. And the people are voting by their legs. You have 7 or 8 parallel talkings that people are suggesting, and anybody goes where he wants. And the program is being built by the audience, and the audience knows at least as good as the program committee. And the nice thing about it, that everybody is talking about what is passionate. And if I'm the program committee, I don't know what this guy is passionate. It is definitely not passionate about listening to me, because he's doing something else which shows that he's a smart guy. So everybody goes and posts whatever he wants, and this is how the program is developed, and then people are changing things, etc. This is Unconference. So I started to do this format in Israel 5 or 6 years ago, and it's really a lot of fun. It's totally different format, and it's not competing or not eliminating the regular conference. It's something else, and it's very good to celebrate innovation and creativity. The other things we do in the unconference that they are being built by volunteers. So we had in October this unconference in Club Med in Greece. We rented the whole Club Med and we invited about 250 people. And I sent an email to some of my Israeli young friends and asked them who is willing to go to Greece one day before in order to help to build the unconference. And everybody who went had to pay his own ticket. About 15 guys volunteered to go one day before to the conference and came to Greece. And then they met with the guys who are running the conference. And the guys who are running the conference said, we need 2 guys to go and create the game arcade and 3 guys to go and create the midnight cooking madness, which is another interesting thing. In midnight, they put ranges and oven and everybody begin to cook, of the participants, not of the chefs of the hotel. And people will stay and eat until 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. And the Israelis told them, no, you don't understand. You don't understand. Tell us what should be done and leave us alone. And for the English people, it was quite difficult to get to understand this concept. And they said, no, tell us what you need. You need a game arcade, you need this, go away. Then the Israelis swarmed the whole place. Nobody gave anybody orders. They laid the cable, they connected the computers, they put the Wi-Fi in place, and it worked more like a swarm than like a hierarchical organization. And this is because of the last virtue, which I will share with you, and this is the distance that people are keeping with their bosses. Wall Street Journal have done a research in which countries you have the biggest and the least distance, or I don't know how to call it in English, between the subordinates and their bosses. Number 1 in having the biggest distance was Malaysia, oddly enough. Number 40, the least one, Australia. Number 39 was Israel. So Israel is the second least formal employer-employee relationship, which have some negatives, but on the other hand, it creates this very special spirit of cooperation, collaboration, charging and going and getting accomplishment. I'm telling all this because we Israelis, as I said, we like to whine, and many times we don't give ourselves a fair account of what really make this community tick. Well, I would agree, Oren and Yuda, that we may pay a price in quality, in the level of quality for all these virtues. But I would like to leave this audience with the challenge that maybe having creativity, a willingness to take responsibility, willingness to desire to adhere to the cause has some very important, being very creative, has some very, very important attributes that maybe it's worthwhile to pay with 1 sigma of the 6 sigmas towards these virtues. I don't know the answer. This is your conference. You have 3 days, and maybe everything I said doesn't make any sense. Maybe. Thank you very much.